Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a detailed guide to Amazon Textract. Now, if you've ever stared at a massive, literal mountain of messy, handwritten forms and thought, there's got to be a better way to digitize this without losing my mind, well, you're absolutely going to love what we discovered in the source material. Here's our agenda for today. We'll start with the elevator pitch, then move beyond basic OCR, dig into the core APIs and custom queries, check out some real-world applications, dive into an insurance claims case study, and wrap it all up with pricing and the free tier. Section 1, the elevator pitch, nailing the interview answer. So, say you're preparing for a cloud architecture interview, or maybe you're talking to a stakeholder, right? Trying to get buy-in for a new automation project. How do you summarize this service effectively in under 2 minutes? It can't just be, oh, it reads text. No way. It has to capture the actual business value. And the key takeaway from this model interview answer is that Textract goes way beyond basic text reading. It actually understands the structure and the context of your documents with zero manual data entry. Plus, it's a fully managed service, which, means you aren't managing the underlying servers at all. So whether it's a PDF, a scanned image, or even a cell phone photo of a messy, handwritten prescription, Textract uses machine learning to pull out structured data, forms, tables, the whole shebang, so your applications can actually use it right out of the gate. Moving on to Section 2, Beyond Basic OCR, Why Textract is Intelligent. Let's be honest, traditional OCR just blindly extracts raw text. When dealing with complex financial reports, that often results in a massive, unreadable word salad. But Textract, it intelligently maps relationships. For example, if a form says employee name Stanley, Textract doesn't just read those words. It creates a structured relationship linking the key employee name directly to the value Stanley. It literally preserves the entire column and row structure of your tables, meaning your database gets clean, usable data right away. The absolute game changer here is that you don't need to build custom templates for different formats anymore. Historically, if a vendor just slightly changed their invoice layout, boom, your whole extraction code would break. But since Textract uses machine learning to understand the document dynamically, it is completely template-free. And because of its serverless architecture, you don't manage any infrastructure. You just send an image or a PDF via an API call and you get beautifully structured JSON right back. It seamlessly scales from just one document to millions, drastically reducing the manual effort of data entry. All right, Section 3, Core APIs and Custom Queries, the Mechanics of Extraction. Under the hood, Textract is powered by these 5 core APIs. They range from basic text detection all the way to purpose-built document analysis. So if you just need standard OCR, maybe reading a quote from a book or some messy handwritten post-it notes, you're going to use the Detect Document Text API. But if you've got structured documents, like forms and tables, you step up to the Analyze Document API. And from there, AWS gets even more specific. For instance, let's look at the Analyze Expense API. This makes automated accounts payable an actual reality by pulling out exactly what you need from a messy receipt. It already knows what a total amount looks like, it knows where the tax usually lives, and it understands vendor names. And that's true whether it's a crumpled up receipt from a coffee shop or a highly structured corporate invoice. You don't have to tell it where to look. The AI just intuitively knows. Similarly, we have the Analyze ID API. This acts as an out-of-the-box identity verification tool for onboarding workflows. Say you're building an app for a bank or maybe a rental car service, and you need users to scan their driver's license. Well, this API will instantly pull out their name, date of birth, and ID number. It completely removes the friction of manual data entry for your users, which is huge. Now, this part is genuinely fascinating. With custom queries, you can literally ask a document questions to pinpoint exact data. You can just pass in a natural language question, something like, what is the amount the check is made out for? And it will search the document and return just that value. Like magic. Actually, scratch that. It's better than magic because if the pre-trained models aren't quite catching the nuances of your highly specific internal documents, you can actually train custom adapters. By just providing a small training data set of your own docs, you teach Textract to find exactly what you need, boosting those accuracy metrics tremendously. Section 4, Real-World Applications, where Textract shines. Whether it's healthcare processing handwritten medical prescriptions, finance extracting data from loan apps, or HR parsing through stacks of resumes, Textract adapts seamlessly to literally any sector. Think about healthcare. Getting data off a handwritten patient intake form, especially with that infamous doctor handwriting, into a digital database used to take hours of manual transcription. Now, it takes seconds.
Or in finance, processing a mortgage lending package that might be hundreds of pages long. That can now be automated using the specialized Analyze Lending API, which obviously leads to dramatically faster loan approvals.
Next up, Section 5, Case Study, Insurance Claims, Automating the Workflow.
To really bring this to life, let's look at a specific case study in the insurance industry where they process thousands of claims every single month. This step-by-step pipeline shows a scanned claim form flowing through Textract straight into data extraction and validation. It replaces a manual process that was, frankly, slow, costly, and error-prone. Imagine a customer submits a scanned PDF of a damage report plus a few handwritten medical receipts. Instead of an agent opening each file and manually typing it into a system, those documents just drop into an Amazon S3 bucket. That immediately triggers a Lambda function, which calls Textract. Textract pulls out all the key value pairs, runs a quick validation check, and boom, the claim is ready for processing. It saves money, cuts down on human error, and most importantly, it gets the customer their payout faster.
Finally, Section 6, Pricing and Free Tier, Understanding the Costs.
So, for any builder or architect out there, the big question is, how much does this logistical implementation actually cost? Well, as an amazing starting point, the AWS free tier gives you up to 1,000 pages per month totally for free, depending on the specific API you're using. That is absolutely perfect for building a proof of concept, maybe running some tests in a SageMaker notebook, or just, seeing how well it handles your company's specific messy documents.
And beyond those first 1,000 pages, there are absolutely zero upfront commitments or minimum fees to worry about. You are never locked into a massive enterprise contract just to get started. Zero. Nothing.
Textract operates strictly on a pay-per-page usage model, meaning you only pay for exactly what you process, which makes it incredibly cost-effective to scale. If you process 500 resumes one month, you pay for 500 pages. If you process 50,000 invoices the next month, you pay for 50,000 pages. Now, the cost per page does vary slightly depending on the intelligence level of the API. Like basic OCR is going to be cheaper than the highly specialized Analyze Lending or Analyze Expense APIs, but the pricing is always transparent and it scales perfectly with your business needs. Think about the bottlenecks in your current business processes for a second. Where are humans in your company basically acting like robots, just copying data from a screen over to a spreadsheet? Because that is exactly where Amazon Textract needs to live. The source guide highly recommends starting with those 1,000 free tier pages, so I'll leave you with this question. What document are you going to automate first?